Another day of lousy weather in the garden. It never really warmed up like they said it would last week, of course. It's like the third week in a row it was supposed to warm up and it didn't. But this week it's supposed to get hot. Certainly isn't hot today. It's only about 70 degrees and it keeps raining. So I'm going to be running around doing this video between the raindrops. This camera is not waterproof. So anyway, a lot of progress this week in spite of it all. This is a rival pumpkin. This is the biggest one by far. And I don't know how this happened. It's way bigger than any of the other plants. Very, very healthy, but it's going to be the last one to flower. So I'm guessing too much nitrogen. But why this one and not the ones right next to it, I don't know. And over here is First Prize. I put a little bit of Epsom salt on First Prize. And it's picked up. It's doing better. It's starting to vine out a little bit. Here's another rival. And this one, as you can see, there it is. Let's see if I can back up a little. Nope. Much smaller than that one. Whoops. My camera's kind of loose today. Okay, I'll have to fix that. Alright. And here's the weirdo pumpkin. It doesn't quite match any of the others. Except for the miniaturized one over there. This one actually, we don't have no bees in the backyard right now, so I tried to hand pollinate this pumpkin. Of course, it is the first female flower, so it probably will be dropped anyway. But I hand pollinated it yesterday, just eager to see what it is. Here is a rival that came up on its own, and probably won't catch up to the rest. Here is the miniaturized weirdo pumpkin. I cut back the catnip that was apparently shading it, and that helped, and I also put Epsom salt on it. That seems to have helped a little bit. I got some wild tomatoes coming up here. Forgive me for talking so fast, but every few minutes it rains, and I don't want to get caught out in the rain. Here is another rival. This one's almost as big as the one down on the other end. It's vining out in the wrong direction. There's a female flower it's going to drop. The other two rivals are over there by the compost, and goodness gracious, and by the potatoes. And I got something growing in the garden. I don't know what it is. Probably something I should pull out, but it's interesting to look at anyway, so I'm not going to pull it out right now. Whatever these are, I know there's some kind of weed, but they came up by themselves. They've got cute little leaves on them, real leaves. So, yeah, kind of interesting. Yeah, there's a good shot of one of the real leaves. Probably someone will write me a note in the comments saying, "Get rid of that! Something horrible!" But not right now. I want to see what they are first. There is. I'm starting to wonder if that one is actually a Pikes Peak. Whoops. A Pikes Peak sunflower. It looks really weird. Might be something else. But anyway, we do have one, well, two, maybe three Pikes Peaks on the other side that are doing really well. So whatever those turn out to be, is whatever they turn out to be. Over here, potatoes. I noticed, you're looking at Purple Viking, and this is Purple Majesty over here. I noticed, since I mentioned last week that we have bees in the front yard, but no bees in the backyard, these were not pollinated, so it doesn't matter that they bloomed. Plants will still be forced to put down more roots anyway. So, yeah, they were not pollinated. You can see right, if I'm focusing on it. Maybe not. Yeah. The flowers just fell off. Didn't form any seeds. So there's Pikes Peak. That one's about 1.5 feet. This one's about a little over 1 foot. This one's about 2.5 feet tall. He was 1.5 feet last week, so it's really grown. And here. These are my bush cucumbers. I'm having to force them, since they will vine out a little bit, I'm having to force them to go in the opposite direction because they were starting to climb over the Mexican sour gherkins. And since I've pushed them a little bit out of the way, the gherkins are taking off. The gherkins did try to start climbing on the netting that is holding back the bush cucumbers, but they are now turning the other direction, I think, because there's more light. Whoops, darn it. Well, this really got loose all of a sudden. I'm going to have to fix that. They're going to head towards the light, I guess, and the light is actually on this trellis here, and that's where I want them to go. So, here is Beefmaster. I think I called it Big Beef last week. It's not. It's Beefmaster. Flowering a lot. Nothing's getting pollinated. And that's because, as I said, the bees are in the front yard. They won't come back here. I have one hummingbird that comes back here, but no bees. And eggplant here. Bell pepper here. Orchid peppers there, there, and there. And I actually found a full-grown orchid pepper plant at a local nursery. I was still considering getting it because these guys have had such a rough spring that they may never get big enough to produce. But we'll see. I don't love orchid peppers that much. And there's the salad garden with the kaleette. Most of the salad garden came up, it reseeded itself. And it's been doing that for a couple of years. Looks like it's going to do it again. It's starting to bolt. But the kaleette is something I grew from seed this year, and there's some salad greens I'm growing from seed this year. And over here, spinach. Behind the orchid pepper, orchid pepper, there is some, those little ones are spinach. They're climbing spinach, and they're supposed to not lose their flavor through the summer. As most salad greens do, they get bitter. Those are supposed to stay nice all summer. So we'll see what they do. Here's the catnip. I'm going to have to prune it back again to keep it off that little pumpkin. And over here, I had to put a fence around the big moose. And the reason I had to do that is that a neighbor cuts my lawn very kindly, and he would probably run over the vines because he's just not aware of, he's not a gardener, and he probably think there's something to be cut down, so I put a fence up here. There is a female flower, and since Big Moose is a maxima, the female flower is yellow. The base of it is yellow rather than green. And here's a mini sunflower that came up with my wildflower seeds. There's that strawberry sherbet, or I don't know what that is. Strawberry something sunflower. Got 2 of those that are doing well. Maybe just one. I'm not sure what the other one is. And let's look at our squash. Sweet dumpling. Sweet dumpling squash doing really, really well. Those all came up from a squash that I just plopped in the ground. And my asparagus patch is trying. I don't know what the ultimate outcome is going to be, but it's trying. Here we go. Here's the baby one. sending up more shoots. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here. A lot of traffic. Sorry about that. And I'll show you a little update on the roses. There we go. This is Music Box. No pretty blooms on it right now. It's got a lot of buds. So I should cut those blossoms off that are spent. And over here, my favorite of all time. Oops. This is Earth Angel. Earth Angel is blooming like crazy right now. Let's see, get some of the old blooms off here. There we go. Beautiful scent. Beautiful flowers. Look at that. Pretty. And over here, I don't know, we got a million flies around today. Get out of there. There. Beautiful flowers. And the thyme is doing well. Have I got the camera on it? Yes. Here is Grand Champion, the weed rose that nothing kills. There we go. And this over here that is making a comeback is, after 2 years of death, is Bella Roma. It may no longer be Bella Roma. It may be whatever the rootstock was, if this rose is actually grown that way. I'll have to look it up. But it's making a huge comeback. So, looks like it's got aphids. Let me spray it. And more thyme, more lavender. And here is quietness. Beautiful quietness. Blooming away. What else have we got? A mess. And let's see. Ruby Slippers hydrangea. I guess the flowers start off a green-yellow and then they go to pink later. And over here, the fairy, which is blooming more than I've ever seen it bloom. Quite beautiful. And one last rose. Other hydrangeas are oak leaves, but they're not blooming at all yet. This is Dr. Robert Corn's. Not open yet. And yeah. I guess I'll show you my Hummingbird Feeder, and then we'll call it a week. Here's my Hummingbird Feeder. And I have a little visitor who comes back every day around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I do brew up my own hummingbird food. It is 1 cup of sugar, very easily dissolvable sugar, to 1 cup of water. Because if you use regular sugar, you'll drive yourself crazy. And then you boil the sugar in the water for about a minute, and then you put it in the fridge. And you have your own hummingbird stuff to eat. So anyway, this is the garden this week. And I will see you next week.